Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on something you use every single second of every day: words.
I mean, really think about it. When you're talking, are you consciously putting together every little piece of every word, or does it all just flow? Yeah, most of us are on linguistic autopilot. But there's this incredible world of machinery working just under the hood.
And what if I told you there's a hidden code? It's not magic, it's linguistics. It's a fundamental set of rules and building blocks that construct every single thought you express. And once you see it, it's kind of like getting a backstage pass to your own mind.
So that's what we're going to do right now. We're handing you the key to that code, and you'll start to see language not just as a flat page of text, but as the amazing three-dimensional structure it really is.
So where do we even begin? Well, we have to start small. I mean, with the absolute smallest pieces. You can think of them as the very atoms of meaning.
And that brings us to our first big idea, the morpheme. Now, this isn't a letter. It's not even a syllable. A morpheme is the smallest possible piece of a language that has its own distinct meaning. So, words like human, legal, or mortal, each one is a single, powerful morpheme.
Let's just tear a word apart to see how this works. Take unbreakable. It's got three morphemes. First, you have un, which clearly means not. Then you've got break. That's the main action. And finally, there's able, meaning can be done. See? Three separate bits of meaning all fused together. If you try to break them down any further, like splitting break into B and R, E-A-K, the meaning is just gone.
Okay, so if words are built from these little morpheme bricks, you have to know that not all bricks are created equal. They actually fall into two main categories.
So on one hand, you've got your lexical morphemes. These are the stars of the show. The nouns, the verbs, the adjectives. Words like cat, run, happy. They carry the real weight, the actual content of what you're trying to say. But then you've got the functional morphemes. You can think of these guys as the grammatical roadies, the unseen crew. Words like on, the, and. They don't have a lot of meaning by themselves, but man, without them, our sentences would just be a total mess of disconnected star players.
All right, now that we've got the basic building blocks down, let's look at some of the really weird and wonderful ways language loves to play with its own rules. Honestly, this is where it gets really fun.
You know, a single morpheme doesn't always sound the same. It can actually change its pronunciation, kind of shape-shifting its sound to better fit in with the sounds around it. And these different phonetic disguises of the same morpheme, they're called allomorphs. Just take the morpheme that makes things plural in English. Listen to this. The word cats ends with a sharp S sound, but dogs ends with a buzzing Z sound, and watches ends with an is sound. That's the exact same morpheme doing the exact same job, making something plural. It just has three different outfits, three allomorphs, to match the word it's attached to. Wild, right?
Then you get these other little guys called clitics. Grammatically, they're their own separate thing, but, well, they're phonologically weak. They're a bit clingy. They just can't be said by themselves and have to latch on to another, stronger word.
A perfect example is the possessive S. So, in the sentence, that is John's book, that little S is a clitic. It's its own morpheme. It means possession, but there's no way it can exist without clinging to John. It's grammatically independent, but totally phonologically dependent.
Okay, so we've talked about how words are built. Now let's dive into the much, much trickier question of what they actually mean. Welcome, my friends, to the labyrinth of semantics.
And that brings us to this whole field of semantics, which is just the study of meaning itself. And as you're about to see, meaning can be a lot more slippery than you might think. First up, we have something called polysemy. This is when one single word has a bunch of different meanings, but, and this is the crucial part, all of those meanings are related to each other, usually through some kind of metaphor or extension of the original idea.
The word head is a classic example. You can have the head on your shoulders, right? But you can also have the head of a company or the head of a table. You see the connection there? All of them share that same core idea of being the top, the primary, or the most important part. It's one word, but with this whole web of connected meanings.
But then you have homonymy. This is when two words just happen to look and sound the same, but their meanings are completely, totally, 100% unrelated. They're basically just different words that share a disguise by pure random chance. Just think about the word bat, okay? There is absolutely zero historical or semantic connection between the little flying mammal and the piece of wood you use in baseball. They are true homonyms, two totally separate words that, by sheer coincidence, are spelled and pronounced the same.
And for our last section, let's look at something truly amazing: the ability of language not just to exist, but to actively build new parts for itself, sometimes in ways you would never expect.
This process is called back formation, and it's basically a kind of linguistic reverse engineering. What happens is, speakers see a word they think has a suffix or a prefix on it, and so they remove it to get what they assume must be the original root word, even if that root word never actually existed before.
Check out the verb to televise. The noun television actually came first. So people saw that ion ending and they figured, hey, that's like creation coming from create. So they just worked backwards. They chopped off the suffix and poof, a brand new verb, televise, was born. Language literally created a new word from a logical mistake.
So from the tiniest morpheme all the way up to the evolution of meaning, it's pretty clear that language isn't some static, unchanging thing. It's not just a tool we inherit, it's a living, breathing structure that all of us are actively building and rebuilding every single time we speak. It really makes you wonder, what word are we all building right now that will exist tomorrow? Thanks for watching.